Hey everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center for our Saturday edition of our 19atSIX, our weekend weather show. And I believe I made a mistake. I sure did. On social media, I call this 19 at noon when it is actually 19atSIX. You miss one day at work and your whole schedule is off. Go ahead and correct this real quick. All right, so we are live now wherever you stream, and we've got to get to our forecast first because weather is actually kind of quiet here for this Saturday, December 21st of 2024. I want to give you that forecast first because it is going to be cold tonight. Temperature is going to fall down into the teens, and fortunately, we are on the uptick with temperatures going into the next 7 days. So here is your forecast first. Tonight, we've got temperatures falling down to 19 degrees here in Cincinnati. We head into the day on Sunday. We're looking at plentiful sunshine, a high temperature up to 34 degrees. And the next 7 days, we are tracking, well, again, that warm-up. Clouds increasing Monday, a high of 45. Christmas Eve could see a small chance of rain and a high of 44. Christmas Day, which is also in line with Hanukkah, the start of Hanukkah, we've got a high of 50 degrees with a few showers. Thursday, isolated showers for Kwanzaa, 53. And then going into next weekend, rain likely with highs in the mid-50s, both Friday as well as on Saturday. So that is your forecast first. So again, we are looking at a pretty mild holiday week coming up here in the tri-state. Of course, the Bengals game being tomorrow. If you're heading to that for tailgating, maybe you're going to be at the game, maybe you got some stuff going on post-game, bundle up. It's going to be cold. The sun will feel nice perhaps, but when you're in the shade, you're going to feel that brisk, cold air here in Cincinnati and across the tri-state. So that is your forecast first, and the good news is that weather is relatively quiet here over the next few days. And if you're asking still at this point, I would say give up. There's no white Christmas. It's just too warm. It's just too wet. This has been consistent amongst the weather data over the last 2 weeks, and it still looks very warm. In fact, low temperatures will be well above freezing. So no chance of any kind of white Christmas. But wet certainly looks to be the case with some scattered showers at that point. So we will look into the travel forecast for tomorrow and then also looking at the Bengals game day forecast here in a moment. I do want to say a couple things first. First of all, we've got a lovely crew here at Fox 19. I want to send off my well wishes to Peyton Marshall as she ventures off on her new journey. And for more on that, you can go to her social media page. But also, I want to give a big shout out to Jordan Valines, a good buddy of mine. Her and I, fun fact, started here on the same day, almost 3 years ago, hard to believe. That was in February of 2022. But her and her mother, Alice, they are great. And Alice and Jordan both love making little gifts. And I almost need scissors for this, but they made a little ornament thing. There we are. A little ornament thing. They made it for everybody on the morning show, and I got to be included, which I feel makes me feel very special. And look at that. Looks just like me, just as square as I am. Kidding. Got the pocket square and everything. So thank you, Alice. Thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate that. That means a lot to see. All that hard work and effort put into making that. I just wanted to show it off here and open it with a live reaction. But just wanted to say that, love the coworkers I get to work with. It means a lot for somebody to put in effort like that. But getting back to the First Alert forecast, right now we do have some flurries showing up in parts of the area. Now, from what I've been seeing, it's not doing very much. It's just very light flurries showing up over to our eastern counties. Maybe you're seeing more, and if you are, let me know. Just because all I can gather from is on our traffic cameras and all of those look pretty benign with not showing anything other than cloud cover. But could be a few flurries over to our north and east, so if you're in maybe Mason, doing some last-minute Christmas shopping, Westchester, Lebanon, Waynesville, over towards Franklin, Hillsborough, down in my neck of the woods towards Rocky Fork Lake, Marshall, down into Buford and Seaman and Peebles, Mount Orab, over towards Williamsburg, Batavia, heck, even in northern Kentucky towards Independence, Alexandria, Claryville, and even into Highland Heights, maybe a few flurries according to our latest radar and satellite. But if you're seeing anything, let me know on the Facebook page. Again, we're live wherever you stream, including on YouTube and Facebook. And if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to chime in on Facebook, both the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page, @EmeryWX. In fact, we'll take a pause real quick to look at that, as we are 6 minutes ahead of the hour. Shauna says, hi, Ethan. Hi to you as well, Shauna. Rachel asking, any severe chances around here anytime soon? So far, no. Encouraging enough. We do not have any severe chances. And I've been working on this for a little bit. I'll prove it to you. So let's go back to radar and satellite real quick. Rachel, this is for you. Well, if the computer will let me. And this is something I've been working on for a while. It's not completely finished yet, but it's a lot of work that goes into this, and sometimes it's hard to maneuver and do around with all the schedule finagling that can happen between reporting and filling in and stuff like that. But I have our Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlook on here. So this is day one. Obviously nothing happening today. Nothing happening tomorrow. Nothing happening going into Monday. Let's see going into Tuesday. So for Tuesday, nothing happening. Let's go ahead and switch that to Wednesday. So, well, hold on here. Well, the computer's acting slow. Let's try that again. That's something I was running into earlier. For some reason today, the computers are just having a little bit of a hard time. But this is for Rachel asking about severe chances. And the answer is no, but I do want to show some evidence behind that statement. So the Storm Prediction Center does a pretty good job at highlighting areas that could have a slight risk of severe weather, things like that. So this is for Tuesday. Notice there's nothing around here. Day 5's not showing up. Neither is day 6, which would be Thursday. Day 7, which is Friday. And day 8, which is next Saturday. Also nothing. So, some good news, Rachel, for you. So we'll go ahead and go back to the almanac real quick. Got a couple more comments and questions on our Facebook page. Alice says, turn on the snow machines, please. I'd love to. You have to go to Perfect North Slope to see anything otherwise, except for maybe a few flurries east. And Audrey's asking for a little snow, please, on the grass. A good buddy of mine, she lives up in Dayton. She was asking me to do my magic and bring some snow between now and Christmas. And unfortunately, Mother Nature is just not really helpful. Let me go real quick and look at my Facebook page, @EmeryWX. Got a couple comments there. Molly says seeing some snow flurries over in Pleasant Plain up in Claremont County, so thank you, Molly. Molly also says, happy first day of winter. The sunset was so beautiful this evening. Can't believe it's going to be warm on Christmas. No white Christmas this year. I know, it's hard to believe, right? But yeah, today is the official winter solstice. It happened earlier this morning at 4:21 in the morning. but also the shortest day of the year. So believe it or not, people usually say winter days are short. No, they are short. I guess the first day of winter is the shortest of the year. However, the days get longer throughout winter. So that's an encouraging thing to look at in this retrospect. But we're going to take a look at that almanac. So here it is. You can see today's high was up to 33 degrees. Sorry, I was responding to a message. That was kind of important. Today's high was 33 degrees. The morning low was 24, which is both below normal for this time of the year. The average high is 42. Average low is 27 degrees. So definitely cold today. But the good news is that tomorrow we'll get just a little bit milder. So let's go ahead and take a look at that Bengals game day forecast. So here you have it. I'll tell you what, everyone wants to message me at 6 o'clock when they really well know that I'm doing this. So I'm just going to ignore them. So we'll go ahead and go on to our Bengals game day forecast. Tailgating tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. It's going to be downright chilly, 24 degrees. Kickoff at 1 o'clock over at Paycor, 32 degrees with a lot of sunshine. By halftime, 34, which will be our official high temperature for tomorrow. Just a degree or two milder compared to that of today here in the Tri-State. Taking a look right now at temperatures across the Fox 19 now viewing area, well, I'll tell you what, it is cold. It is currently in the upper 20s this hour, 28 degrees over towards Middletown. It is 28 in Batesville. It is 28 also in Harrison, 28 Hamilton, 28 in Batavia, and in Falmouth. By the way, I wanted to let a moment here. If you're on my Facebook page at Ethan Emery WX, please just go ahead and move over to the Fox 19 Facebook page. If you have any questions or comments, I'm getting too many notifications on my phone, so I went ahead and muted it. That way I wouldn't be caught in the crossfire of trying to answer questions. My friends know better, but for some reason I'm still getting messages. Let's go and move on here. 27 degrees in Richmond, 30 at the Lunken Airport. Taking a look right now at winds. It's a little breeze. That's a slight breeze out there, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Fortunately, no wind gusts, but the slightest breeze does make a difference when it's this cold. You get wind chills or feels like temperatures in the teens and 20s. 18 the wind chill right now at CVG, also at Wilmington and in Richmond, Indiana. Low 20s elsewhere where there is a breeze. When there's not a breeze, it's the same as the air temperature, just like Harrison and Falmouth, for example. Both current temperature 28, wind chill also at 28 degrees. Overnight tonight, we've got a temperature down to 19 degrees, mostly clear conditions late. And then for tomorrow, plentiful sunshine up to 34 degrees. And if you're traveling across the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region for tomorrow, we got highs in the upper 20s over towards Cleveland and in Pittsburgh, 31 in Columbus, 36 in Indianapolis, 37 in Lexington, Kentucky. And if you want to see the 40s, you got to travel further south and west. St. Louis and Nashville both sitting at 45 degrees. Chicago and Charleston, West Virginia, seeing similar temperatures, 33 under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Now, we head into our forecast model here. What we're going to do is pull that up now. And what you're going to see once this loads, again, the computer's having a little bit of issues today. I'm not sure what's going on here, but there we are. It's not doing the best of job with the flurries, but do note the little blue dots you see over towards Hillsborough. So models, when it comes to flurries, it's back and forth on it. You'll see these little blue dots here showing up, and that is going to be the potential for flurries here this evening. They'll eventually end late tonight as we head into our Sunday morning. Sunday starting off with a few clouds, but during the day we are looking at mostly sunny conditions. And then we head into Sunday night into Monday, starting off dry, but then Monday night we're going to begin to see rain move into the region, which we'll show you that right now on our long-term forecast model, which is loading at the moment. so bear with me. So here's Monday morning. You can see things are quiet. Monday evening into Monday night, rain begins to move in. This will continue into Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, maybe a chance of a sprinkle or a light shower. Christmas morning now looks dry, but Christmas afternoon into Christmas evening, we could see a chance for a few showers. We head into Kwanzaa the day after Christmas, Thursday. Maybe a few isolated showers. And then by the end of the week, going into the weekend, it looks wet with scattered showers across the region. We head into Saturday and Sunday next weekend. Both days do appear to be wet. And then we head on into the end of the year, and as you can see, things still look pretty wet. Now, I will say that this is New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve night into New Year's Day, we could see this moisture move into the region. It's going to be rain. But we are monitoring a big cool down going into a couple of days after New Year. That being said, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of variability with that. And I have not updated the 14-day forecast just yet. I will show it tomorrow on 19atSIX. I just haven't gotten around to it today. Been working on some stuff behind the scenes. But I will say that going into the beginning of the year, we could see a pattern shift that does favor colder air, which I know some of you might hate that concept because they want it to be cold and snowy around Christmas, and then the new year want it to be warm again. And that isn't how Mother Nature likes to work. And if you live around here long enough, you know that's unfortunately the case. But here is that 7-day forecast. So Sunday's Bengals game day Sunday, sunny, 34 for the afternoon high. Monday, 45, clouds increasing, a small chance of rain on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, a few showers up to 50 degrees. Kwanzaa, an isolated shower with a high of 53, and then scattered showers on Friday and Saturday with highs in the mid-50s. Got one comment on the Fox 19 Facebook page from Darla. Says, good evening, Ethan. Hope you had a great day. How much rain are we expecting for Christmas evening and day? That's a good question. And I'm going to take a look at that on the forecast model data right now. Go ahead and pull into this graphic real quick. And let me make sure everything is correct here. Christmas Eve through Christmas Day. So let's go ahead. This is Christmas Eve, and then now we fall into Christmas Day, into Christmas Day night. As you can see, it's not very much. Where it says 0, that means it's less than 1/10 of an inch. Because obviously there's green kind of swathed here, so some moisture, but it's just not a lot. So generally, I would say less than 2/10 of an inch of rain. So not very much rain for us, but enough to where you're going to notice a few raindrops coming down Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So encouraging news for folks traveling. The roads won't be as wet as we had forecast a few days ago, but with it being rain, it's indicative of it being warm. So the good news is for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, not a lot of rain, but there will be some rain chances both days. Christmas Eve looks drier than Christmas Day right now. As Christmas Day, particularly Christmas Day evening, we could run into maybe a few light showers passing on through Darla. But good evening to you as well, and thanks for the comment. We appreciate that. Go ahead next out of this real quick. While we are here, I do want to look at a forecast model tool to kind of show you what I'm talking about with that cool down coming in after the new year. So once this loads, this allows us to see what we call heights. So higher air or higher heights of the troposphere, which is the layer of the atmosphere that gives us all of our weather conditions. And then you have the blue, which is the lower heights. The higher heights are indicative of ridges and also warmer air. The bluer is troughs or colder air. Those are where you have kind of low pressure systems that are kind of on the edges. Lower pressure usually sits somewhere in here, and then higher pressure usually sits somewhere in here. So what I want to do real quick is play this out and show you that that ridge, the milder air is going to build into this region and give us warmer air. Now this little blip in the green going into next Friday, this is where we're going to have that wave of a warm front, really, and bring us some rain chances by the end of the week into next weekend. And you'll see, we got kind of a little ridging here, so even warmer air moving in, which Saturday, by the way, we do have highs next Saturday in the mid-50s, even potentially upper 50s in some parts of the region. We go into December 29th and 30th. Temperatures do get knocked down a little bit. And then that is New Year's Eve. That model ends here. However, I do want to draw your attention over here. Look at how far this blue is. And if you can't tell with longitude or latitude, it's somewhere. So this deep blue, the deep dark blue, is kind of lining up with our northern portions of the U.S., the continental U.S. And as this thing swings in, it could give us a shot of reinforced cold air. And that would be on the lines of probably January 3rd or 4th. Again, I haven't looked at the data yet in depth. But just by looking at this, I would not be surprised if by the end of the first week of January, we could be looking at some colder air returning to the tri-state. But until then, through New Year's Eve, it does look pretty mild. Looks pretty warm, in fact, to say otherwise. So that is going to be something that we just have to deal with for a while. And one thing we are going to look at is the Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. This is in lieu of the 14-day forecast. So this is going to show us the probability of seeing temperatures at or above normal, which, as you can see, a lot of that reddish color there, that lines up with this. So confidence is pretty high for us to see above normal temperatures, which very much the case, because going into next Saturday, next Sunday, even into Monday, into New Year's Eve, looks pretty warm. And with that, it does look a little wet. So that's why we do have confidence of seeing above average precipitation across the upper Ohio Valley region and Great Lakes region. Now, when it comes to the 3 to 4 day, or 3 to 4 week rather, temperature outlooks, this is going to take us through the middle of January. I'm going to say this will probably show us blue, but let's double check. Yep. So that area I was telling you, it's off into the northern Pacific, that will very likely swing in our direction, and we'll see a big drop in temperatures. So I do at this point, I agree with this. I would like to see the data a little more, finite, and I will be showing you that 14-day forecast tonight on Fox 19. But I do suspect that the end of the first week of January, going into the middle of January, will we see a big cold spell, so colder air moving in. Now here's the question, will this colder air bring us dry air, or will we be on the edge of getting some moisture attached to it? And the answer was a big old bullseye just to our south and west. It looks like we're going to be kind of on the backside, or we're going to be right with the cold, dry air. And that's kind of how our pattern has been. I've explained this the last couple of weeks. The current pattern setup is that whenever we're warm, we're favoring the more moisture with the warm air. But when the cold air moves in, it digs just enough to where we're getting the cold, dry air, as opposed to kind of on that boundary line where you get the cold, moist air. The scenario we had on Friday morning, for example, that would have been a good example of seeing some good snow had that colder air just been a little bit further south. However, in that case, it was a little bit warmer leading up to that event, to the point where a lot of that was just rain, or the ground was just too warm for the snow to stick for a long period of time. And I haven't seen any snowfall reports. I was looking for that earlier today. I wanted to share some numbers, but I did not see any numbers be shared with me, which is a little disappointing. But if you have numbers you want to share with us, let me know. Be appreciative of seeing how much snow you might have measured on Friday morning. That way I can share that with everybody else, because I'm curious myself. I woke up on Friday morning. Milford had a good little amount of snow in the grass, but I didn't have a snowboard. Otherwise I would have measured it, but I don't have that. Not to mention, I wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't able to go outside and do that. But you can see here the 7-day forecast. We'll do it one more time before we go ahead and close things off. But before we do that, let's look at Facebook comments and questions, only on the Fox 19 Facebook page. Remo says, happy holidays to you, sir, and your family. Thank you, Remo. I appreciate that. Happy holidays to you. Andrea asks, when is it going to rain Tuesday for Christmas Eve? Well, there's a chance of maybe a sprinkle, a light shower maybe, on Tuesday evening. So Christmas Eve afternoon, Christmas Eve evening. The chances have gone down, especially since, well, I was here on Thursday, but there is kind of a warm front moving in Tuesday, going into the Christmas Eve night. So there's a system moving through where Christmas Eve early morning to our south, depending on where you are, Andrew, I don't know where you are, but Tuesday morning, our southern counties could see a little something, but the better chances are going to be Tuesday evening, so Christmas Eve evening. And this model is being a little bit delayed with it, but you see this little notch right here? Looks like a beak of a bird right here. This is actually a warm front, and this model is being a little slow with it. I think it's going to be a little quicker than this. I think it's going to be probably up here by 1 a.m. going into Christmas morning, so when Santa Claus comes in, it'll be a little bit warmer. But I do think at that point we will see the opportunity for a few sprinkles or light showers. But to answer your question, Andrea, it does not look to be very much. Or if I'm sorry, Andrea, is it Andrea or Andrea? Either way, thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. I hate to misspeak on someone's name. But thank you for asking. So Tuesday, not very much. I showed the rainfall totals on, it's actually this particular model, less than 1/10 of an inch for most locations, or about 1/10 of an inch of rain between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Darla says, here in Aurora, some places had a dusting on Friday. Here at my place, it looked to be a little more on the flat areas. So probably upwards of, I'm going to assume, based on that comment, Darla, maybe 1/10 of an inch or 2/10 of an inch of snowfall. That's good to know, Darla. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, the final look of the Fox 19 First Alert 7-day forecast. Got a high of 34 for your Bengals game day Sunday. Of course, your Bengals flagship station. We are going to give you pregame and postgame coverage right here on Fox 19. Sunshine 34. Monday 45, clouds increasing. Christmas Eve, a small chance of rain, primarily in the evening, but there could be a few lingering light activity on Tuesday morning to our south. Christmas Day, which is also Hanukkah, the start of Hanukkah, a few showers, a high of 50 degrees. Kwanzaa, which is on Thursday, a few isolated showers and a high of 53. Friday, rain likely, which will continue into next weekend with highs in the mid-50s and lows in the mid-40s. So that is the 7-day forecast here. We want to thank you for joining us here on this Saturday edition of 19atSIX, our weekend evening weather show. I will be diving into our 14-day forecast coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. I'll be updating these numbers as well, giving you all the latest as well as our news and sports headlines right here on Fox 19 tonight at 10 o'clock. But thank you again so much for joining us on the Saturday edition of our 19atSIX weekend weather show. Have a great and safe Saturday evening.